Welcome to the Defense and Aerospace Report. I'm Vago Muradian here at the Association of the United States Army's annual meeting and trade show in Washington, D.C. Our coverage here is sponsored by AM General, Elbit Systems of America, General Motors Hydrotech, L3 Technologies, and Leonardo DRS. And we've got with us Mike Peck, who is the Director of Enterprise Business Development at General Dynamics Land Systems. Mike, great seeing you again.
Good to see you again.
So you guys have had a busy period. You guys tend to, as a leading armored vehicle maker, even though there's been a little bit of a lull in acquisition activity, but you guys have pressed ahead with the vehicle for the 2nd Cavalry Regiment. That was a pressing operational requirement. We were over at Media Day. Talk to us a little bit about the variant that you guys have put out, and what kind of production schedule are you guys looking at, and what are some other customers you guys are looking at for this vehicle?
Well, first of all, this was one that we invested in almost 4 years ago. We brought it to AUSA actually in 2010 as a rough prototype, and then we came up with a real design about 4 years ago, showed it to the Army before the Army even knew they needed it. So our investment strategies really paid off. But we showed this to the Army in 2014. They've gone through an urgent need statement out of Europe. We're going to be fielding the first vehicles in about 3 months over in Europe as a test set, and all 83 vehicles for the 2nd Cav Regiment should be fielded by next May. So 83 vehicles, and the first one rolled off in about 15 months. So really fast delivery time on this one.
And what are some other customers? What is the future you see for the vehicle? You've got the 30 millimeter gun on the vehicle. You've got the Crows system on it also, which makes it appeal, gives it a lot of combat punch. What are some other applications you guys see out there for it?
Well, for this one, I mean, you could potentially put this on a scout vehicle and do your reconnaissance with it. Right now, that's not the Army's plan, but we can modify this turret to do a lot of things. We can do hunter-killer, we can do slew-to-Q, all of those kinds of capabilities. We've already invested our money for other clients. We did one for Australia that was very similar to this one that had all of those attributes on it. So there's a need for a wheeled 30 millimeter. You see a proliferation of 30 millimeter cannons on wheeled vehicles. We think we found a really good market for the U.S. Army and mostly our allies, Australia, Canada, England. So we're exploring all those opportunities.
Short-range air defense, the Army divested itself of the capability. I saw your eyebrows go there, because there were a lot of people at the time who said, look, this is going to be kind of a mistake because it's only a matter of time before we have that threat again. Army now taking it very, very seriously. Unmanned systems, a lot of proliferation out there with them, but also conventional aircraft, helicopters, a whole bunch of threats that are out there that the Army wants to protect itself. Talk to us a little bit about the variant you guys have, because you've made it a quad pack of Hellfires as well as Stingers on a variant of the vehicle. Talk to us a little bit about that and some of the successes you guys recently have had, I think at Yuma, where you guys have been testing it.
Well, 7 months ago we got a call from the Pentagon saying, could you look at integrating an Avenger turret on a Stryker? That was 7 months ago. Last month we fired an Avenger on the Stryker out at White Sands Missile Range, and we're 3 for 3. 2 drones and a ground target with a Hellfire missile. A spectacular event. And everybody's excited that this option has the option to grow too. So you can put some other capabilities on it for some of the smaller drones. These were kind of a large mid-sized drone and then a ground Humvee target. Very successful. We're going to see where the Army wants to go with it, but it is the number 5 priority on the Chief and on the Secretary of the Army's list. So we think that there's value added for us and Boeing, our partners. We both invested in that capability, so we're really excited about it. It's been, I think, like 1 million hits on the video that we put out last Friday. So this thing is a hot item right now.
And we're gonna, and you're hot too, Mike. So we're gonna try to see if you can break the million hit mark as well here. That's a challenge for our audience. Just keep clicking over and over again.
My mother will do that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. The whole Peck family will be doing it. Talk to us a little bit about, you're the enterprise-wide guy at Land Systems. Army has been in a little bit of an acquisition slowdown. Talk to us about what are some of the key programs. Where do you think the emphasis is going to be? Everybody's optimistic there's going to be a little bit more money, not as much money as everybody would like, but there is going to be more money. How are you guys positioning yourself to take advantage of that?
Well, first of all, we've invested in some IRAD on active protection systems to integrate it on platforms instead of just apply it to a platform. Been very successful with that. We think the Army is really interested in it. Obviously, the modernization program for both Stryker and Abrams seems to be going very, very well. Passed all the tests, so we're in serial production right now. First article should be out. I think we delivered our first Stryker A1 last month, and so we're continuing to work that one. But our mantra right now is invest ahead of need. We are dumping a bunch of money into things that we think the Army needs. We've done a couple tech demonstrators. You saw Griffin last year. We've done Griffin 2, it's out on test right now. We're not quite ready to show it, and we've got an RFP coming up for mobile protected firepower that this Griffin is going to inform. It's not the right answer, but it's close, and we think it will give us some great information from our testing. We're investing in a lot of the robotics things, the wingman activities. So we feel like from a ground combat system capability, our investment's going to pay off in the long run.
Sir, thanks very much. Mike Peck, Director of Enterprise Business Development at General Dynamics Line Systems. It's always a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thank you.
Best of luck at the show.
All right, appreciate it.